As promised, I am making a video on how Stanford losing Lauren Betts is a generational fumble, but I decided to go deeper. I think there are a lot of parallels in the reasons Betts left, and why Tara Vandaveer ultimately needs to retire. It seems Tara isn't able to adjust to the modern times, specifically the NIL era. Stanford recently won the championship in 2021, which I would argue was one of the most exciting tournaments ever. However, it's been completely downhill for there. Down years are normal, but I don't think Tara will be able to turn it around anytime soon. Stanford losing Lauren Betts to the portal is a generational fumble. The driving force was that Lauren Betts was not too happy with her role. With Cameron Brink being there, Lauren was basically degraded to only coming in when Cameron Brink was in foul trouble or needed rest. She only averaged 10 minutes of play, which is borderline disrespectful for a number one ranked player. There was a few times she was out there with Brink, but they practically had negative chemistry together. Lauren Betts is a 6'7" center who is not afraid to get physical and use her size. On top of that, she has a decent mid-range jumper and is a good defender. These attributes skyrocketed her to be the number one player in her recruiting class, even over players like Kiki Rice. This is why it was so puzzling that she wasn't getting any playing time. Many people, myself included, assumed maybe she just wasn't ready to be out there. But the 2023 AmeriCup completely disproved that notion. Along with Rickea Jackson, she was far and away the best player for Team USA. She looked significantly better than Angel Reese. The most impressive showing is what she did to Brazil. Brazil's team is significantly better than an average D1 team, but she went to town on them. This showed Betts always had the ability, but wasn't being used properly. Why bring this up? Because it's a recurring theme. Stanford's player development has been terrible for a while. There have only been 7 drafted players since 2015. This might sound like a lot, but it's terrible for a top-tier program. It gets worse when you look at the details. Amber was practically cut as soon as she was drafted. McCall is out of the league. Alana Smith was doing a lot better now, but was terrible her first years in the league. Kiana Williams has been reduced to a player who plays during garbage time. Lexi Hull is in danger of being out of the league next year. Ashton was cut. Haley Jones is having a lot of struggles right now because her game saw almost no improvements throughout her tenure at Stanford. In other words, Tara Vandaveer clearly isn't preparing her players for the next level. I think Cameron Brink will be an amazing player, but that can be attributed to Steph Curry serving as a mentor. Here is a snippet of an interview with Lauren Betts in high school.
Tara, she's like the GOAT of coaches, so I know that she's going to help me become the best basketball player I can be. I just know that if I want to get to the next level, that the coaches are going to help me do that.
It's fair to say she doesn't believe that Tara is the GOAT anymore, or that she is the best person to take her game to the next level, or she wouldn't have left. Tara is a great coach, but the media over-exaggerates how great she is. I might elaborate more on this in the future. It seems like other people have caught on as well because recruiting has taken a nosedive relative to what it used to be. Even though I think lack of player development is a huge factor in Lauren's departure, it's unfortunately not the only one. After the upset loss against Ole Miss, Tara Vandaveer had one of the weirdest press conferences I've ever seen. She literally gives props to every player except Haley Jones throughout the press conference. Some of the players she mentioned didn't even play well, so it was definitely deliberate.
I think Talana did a phenomenal job defensively. She works really hard. And India was out there. Again, our defense was not the problem. We struggled. We had good shots and at the basket, Cam and Haley both, and we didn't finish the way we want to or need to. I think it was a great experience for our freshmen, for Talana, for India, and for Lauren Betts to be out there. I thought Fran gave us some real good minutes, but I'm proud of Cam, and I love coaching Cam. She plays hard, and that was, it's tough, but experience. I don't think you could ask for a more gritty player than Talana or India or Agnes, but they.
Later in the press conference, she gives one of the worst copes I've ever seen. I can only imagine what would happen if the roles were reversed and a male coach said this about a women's team. The internet would have exploded.
I'm not going to fall into the trap of saying, wow, we had a horrible season. I know that our men's team would be ecstatic to be playing, 2 games in the NCAA tournament, and Bernard would be happy about that too.
Not only is it absurdly disrespectful, it's disingenuous. No one commits to Stanford to get bumped that early, so to act like it's not disappointing is a joke. This literally hasn't happened since 2007. Why would Lauren Betts or any future star player want to play for a coach that doesn't even acknowledge a player who has been there for 4 years and was the pivotal reason she got her 3rd national championship? I can also guarantee that losing in the second round and justifying it by saying the men's team couldn't do it didn't do her any favors. If that wasn't bad enough, here's strike 3. I have no idea why Tara did this, as it's practically a recruiting death sentence, but she trashes NIL. She claims players like Olivia Dunn showing off their bodies for money is a step back for women. What in the world is she talking about? She's acting like female athletes are spreading and popping and pole working. All they're doing is making money off of pictures they would normally post anyway. Lauren Betts ain't trying to hear that. Neither is any player who deems themselves attractive and plans on using that to their advantage to make some money. I'm not shocked that Lauren Betts transferred at all. She was barely playing any minutes, and Stanford track record for development has been terrible the past few years. Tara seems to be unwilling to adapt to the NIL and transfer portal landscape. I imagine admissions have a lot to do with it. The fact she mentioned the men's team wishes they could be on their level shows the mindset Tara has. She has gotten complacent and thinks she has already done enough because of Stanford's extensive resume. The problem is, the top players aren't going to care about the past success if they think the coach doesn't have the same fire when they get there. If she wants to have the mindset that it doesn't matter how we do because we're better than the men's teams, then the players will reciprocate that energy. She will get stuck with players who just play good enough to keep their scholarship and get that prestigious degree, not ones who care about getting the natty. It's time to hang it up and let someone else have a shot. Don't waste players' time and potential if you don't have the same fire you used to. If she doesn't pass the torch, Stanford will have a lot of dark years coming. They aren't pulling the recruits like they used to, have players transferring out, and are not placing them with players in the portal. They also haven't proven to develop the players they already have. I will go as far as to say, Tara will never win another natty. But what do you think? Is it time for Tara to hang it up? Or do you believe Stanford will find a way to bounce back? Thanks for watching, and don't forget to share your thoughts in the comment section.